All right. Welcome to our weekly New Gambia Platforms talk show. We've been up for a little bit, about a month and a half, but we are back now. And some of us traveled to the Gambia for different reasons, and we are here today to discuss our experience. I have my co-host Sam Sise, who also came from the Gambia. Sam, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a great trip to the Gambia for sure.
Definitely. That's why we want to share. We want to come and share our experience because we are firsthand, visitors who actually, were able to see things ourselves, not through anyone. And then from our own view and what we've been talking about in this platform, I think this is a great opportunity to highlight some of those and kind of communicate that with our audience. So I'm your host here, Momodu from New York. So Sam, let's look at Gambia, the Gambia that we all care for and we all talk about. What is your take on Gambia in look at it from any angle?
Yep, yep, yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Swanee. Definitely, thank you. Gambia is Gambia. Is our homeland, is our country. And, we love our country. That's why you and I both paid a visit there. We went to see the country. We went to see our people. We also, while we were there, or during our travel, we've experienced some things things that I'd like to share today, the good and the bad, and take it from there and see what we can do to improve our country. So first, I definitely want to talk about areas of opportunities, and then I will end up on a good note for things that were positive for me and things that I thought were good. So from the areas of opportunities, I thought, I'm on that the biggest headache that I had was the transportation, road conditions and things like that. I think we have a lot of opportunity in the country to fix that. And some of the problems are easy fixes, and some of them are long-term fixes, are problems that were there from independence. Since we had independence, unfortunately, we did not cater for the future. How the Gambian mentality is. Sometimes we look at today, we look at where we are today and what we're in today and worry about today, and not look at the future. We should have that vision for the future. The future is Gambia is going to be more populated. In fact, the Combo area, Serekunda and the surrounding is already densely populated, and we should have thought about road conditions prior to today. And because of our lack of not doing that, that's what created today's problems. Today's problems are road conditions. Roads are very narrow and roads are overpopulated. There are too many cars on the roads. The roads are not in good condition, especially inner city roads. I mean, if you go from the airport into Serekunda, just take that highway going into Serekunda. I believe it looks like it's a 2-lane, but to me, it looks like it's just 1 lane because only 1 lane moves most of the time, because the other lane, the right lane, is always blocked by taxi drivers,
Right.
taxi drivers picking up people, dropping people, and just stopping there and not doing a whole lot, but waiting for passengers. All of these made and forces people to go on the left lane. And for the amount of cars that are on that road, 2 lanes is not even enough. We needed at least 3 lanes in each direction. 3 lanes going,
Right.
3 lanes coming, at least that are free, not stop lanes. So we're not there. And I remember back in the days, if you take that road, I mean, that area was so wide open, that you can build up to probably 4 lanes going either direction. I'm not sure, and I don't understand why and how people got so close to the road now. People building shops and businesses right along the side of the road, which really shouldn't be there. I mean, that contributed to the blockage of the road. It contributed to this traffic problem
Okay.
that we shouldn't have. The other part is not only the taxi drivers and the drivers on the road, but also the police officers on the road that are directing traffic. They are out there. I know they're not well paid. I know they're not equipped. They don't have the tools and technology. They're not armed. Very hard for them to control traffic. But sometimes they are part of the problem instead of part of the solution.
Right.
I personally witnessed a traffic officer standing in the traffic on his cell phone. I mean, when the traffic is blocked, instead of directed traffic, he's on his cell phone. And I also saw another one where two cars may have collided or may have got into a fender bender, where both drivers came out and they were arguing on the road, in the middle of the road. And the traffic, I think it was a female officer that came there, that was there with them. And they were talking about a problem in the middle of the road while the traffic is blocked. Instead of pulling them over, get them off the road, completely off the road. Let's go settle it out there. Get their statements out of there so traffic can go. They did it right on the road, which also blocked traffic. So,
Wow.
so there are a variety of reasons for the traffic, not only because of the roads being tiny and narrow, but people also causing. And the other part, and I'll stop here and give you a chance to. The other part is people crossing the road, passengers and pedestrians, trying to cross the road. Everybody's trying to cross the road left and right, back and forth. It's just so crazy that people can just cut in front of cars. And every time people go in front of cars, cars had to stop. They had to stop. If not, you're going to hit somebody. So all of that is avoidable. And that one is an easy fix to my understanding. That's an easy fix. All they have to do is anywhere there is a market, whether it's Serapunda Market, Talinde Market, Churches Down area, Latrikunda, the Fajikunda, going all the way to Brikama, Bakau, and anywhere there's a market, they really need to be able to build skywalks over the road so that drivers can be driving and passengers, people can be traveling, walking up and over the road to come down on the other side rather than cutting in front of cars. I think that will alleviate some of the problem. Not only minor accidents that happen where cars hit people because they're crossing and drivers not paying attention, but also it will free up all of that stop and go because you're stopping for people. It'll be a safe race for safety of the people. People should be able to really go up the steps and then walk up above the road to the other side and come down without blocking the traffic or without making any car stop for them. If they build those and make them mandatory that everyone has to go through that and put enough police officers on the road to make sure that anyone they see crossing the road without going up there gets a fine. If they start to enforce that and announce it prior to doing it, the communication and all of that, the public awareness and bringing all of that on television, radio stations, I think it will free up some of the traffic in those areas. And of course, it's a safety hazard. So I'll stop here for a little bit and
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam, for that vast, explanation of traffic, which is one issue that Gambia is facing. I also witnessed traffic, especially coming from Coastal Road, going through Fajara and going through Bakau. It took me over an hour or so trying to, get to Fajara or somewhere in Fajara. So my thing is that, too many cars in the Gambia, of course, which is a good thing. But if we don't have the roads, if we don't have the pathways to have this, vehicle, navigate, then we have an issue because it causes people to lose time, and time is very essential in our lives. Time is money. Time is everything. People cannot spend 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for a trip that is just 15 minutes in a normal circumstances. So we have to really look into our traffic situation. It's costing our country a lot. I've seen people miss their flight, because of traffic, because they did not anticipate the time it will take them to get to the airport. And as a result, they miss their flights. I've seen people miss their appointments because of traffic. You call anyone in the Gambia, you have an appointment and they have a car, they will tell you traffic, especially from Serekunda area going to, Coastal Road, or going through Bakote and then, Broford, and then, Bakote, Sukuta, and all that area. And then the same thing applies going to Brikama. I've seen somebody who complained going to Brikama, it took them over an hour plus and coming back just for traffic sitting there. So the government, I'm pretty sure, have noticed this because they are in the traffic. They too are seeing what we are seeing and experiencing because they are not flying. So it should be a priority. I agree with you 100%. The priority should be, let's think outside the box. Our population, the kind of vehicle coming to the Gambia. What can be done? Everybody's complaining about traffic. What is the government doing about it? What are our legislative bodies doing about it? Because it's costly. If we don't know, it's costing us economically, big time. It's costing us with things that we want to achieve. So if anybody think like, it is not a priority, you're mistaken. Traffic is a key priority. Now the question comes down to this, Sam. How can we solve this problem? I mean, we're talking about overpass. We're talking about you cannot go and create roads on existing compounds where existing compounds are located now, because you're going to end up destroying another compound. And the government cannot be able to compensate those families. And I wouldn't want any compound, any roads to pass through my compound, because I like my compound. I don't want my facility to be destroyed. I'm thinking about building something else because of a road. So it is a poor design in the first place. They haven't done their homework when they're doing these layouts. So we were just building without looking at how the situation would be. So now, technology-wise or economically wise, how can this be resolved? That's the $100 million question we have on the table. Are they going to build overpass? I mean, overpass, interstate, intercity passes and, stuff like that. Those are expensive. Those are going to be expensive. Those Gambia has the budget. Do they have that? People complaining about shortage of food prices, and other things. Now we're talking about, expensive infrastructure like that.
Yep, definitely good question. That's why I said since independence, because this is something that should be in the plans from the beginning. Unfortunately, may or may not have been in the plans from the beginning, but we continue to build structures along the side of the road. I think some people did it deliberately. Some people may not have done it deliberately. However, the problem is there. If we don't do anything about it now, it's going to get worse, because there are going to be more people and more cars. And on the same road. So something's got to get done. Something's got to be done, and we've got to give up something. And one of those is, building an oversight or beltways around the country, around the Combo area. Combo area is the biggest area. If we can build a beltway, that's going to be millions. That's a lot of money. So we can start with using what we have now, like I said, to be able to free up traffic a little bit. The traffic flow is very important. If traffic cannot flow, then everybody is going to be late for everything that they're going. Every day they're going to be late, and that is currently happening. It takes people forever to get from point A to point B, I drove on all of those roads while I was there, going from Brikama or going all the way to Brikama from the airport to serve that area to Poti. And then I took the Senegambia road all the way out. I went through Bakote and I went to Coastal Road. And, all of that is places. But traffic is not better anywhere. It's just the same. It's the same. Vehicles not moving fast enough. And so people are delayed and time is money. So what do? Well, one is, like I said, to build a skywalk up where there's a lot of people crossing the road. We build skywalks. The skywalks doesn't take a lot of money. You build concrete pillars and steps for people to get up there and then get down on the other side without interrupting that traffic. That's one. That definitely needs to be done. Another thing is we need to start to look at all these cars coming into the country. The government need to have some kind of regulations where certain vehicles cannot be running on our streets. There are some very old vehicles that are also causing traffic delays because they're frequently stopping because of a breakdown. And unfortunately, when cars break down on our roads, I've seen people, I witnessed this myself. They stay right on the road and pop the hood off and start working on the car right there, which makes traffic, which blocks that lane. Everybody has to go past them. So then it becomes one lane, everybody trying to pass that. Instead of pushing that vehicle, get it off the road so the drivers can continue, the traffic can flow. They don't do that. So there's gotta be some regulations as to what needs to happen on road rules with road rules. On the other part is, how many cars should we allow in our country? Like how many old vehicles should we allow in our country? They should start to get to a point where when vehicles get to a certain age, I'm just throwing out a number, 15 years old vehicles, 20-year-old vehicles, they should come up with a number where that is reasonable and say, if a vehicle's age is, say 20 years and let's 20 years and lower, for example, 20 years and lower. It could be 15 years. It could be any number. They need to come up with something, even if they say 15 years. So 15 years and young and newer will be the ones allowed to run and will be the ones allowed in the country. Anything over 20 years old or 15 years old cannot be in the city. If they think things like that, if you want to run those, you take them up in the country where you can use them for transporting goods. So if it breaks down, you push it off the road and fix it there, or call a mechanic, come fix it, but at least get off the road. And those would be areas where it's in the woods, it's in the bushes, all in the country. But in the Kamba area, if they make restrictions, that will limit the amount of vehicles that will be on the road. And number two, anybody importing any vehicle into the country will also be aware of that. That way, you and I cannot ship a vehicle from America to Gambia, a vehicle that's too old. You know what I mean?
So what do you mean by too old? Like, are they not able to, run properly, or they just getting breakage on the way, or is that why would this vehicle be separated from the other vehicle?
Well, the problem is that we currently have a problem. We need to look for solutions. And part of the solutions is vehicles are overcrowded. There are too many vehicles on the road, and some of them are really not worth being on the road. That's what I'm talking about.
But the thing is, there are too many vehicles. Is that something that is economically, positive or negative? I mean, having too many vehicles, because I don't think in the West here anybody complains about that.
Well, because we have better roads here. we have good roads, better roads, plenty of roads, and plenty of lanes, right? So nobody's going to complain about that. But even in the West here, there are cars that get to a certain point, people junk them. You junk them, and you don't see anybody leaving their cars from the side of the road. You don't see anybody trying to fix their cars on the road. If your car breaks down on the road, on the highway, you pull it off the road so traffic continue to flow. You call a tow truck to come and tow your vehicle and take it to the shop. You don't try to fix it on the road. Well,
So,
that's what they
so
do.
isn't that a procedural problem? Like they haven't get maybe rules or policies in place, and or maybe a facility where these vehicles can be parked without interrupting the traffic.
Well, if there are, I don't know, but if there are rules, no one is following those rules because
Then
you know,
that might be traffic policing.
it, it,
We
it,
don't have
it, it could be, but we need to look at it because there are some cars, like I said, there are some that really shouldn't be on the road. They're just too old and too bad, and they're just causing problems. They're breaking down. I mean,
yeah.
every day you go and you see them breaking down. It's time to give up on those vehicles and get them off the road and junk them so that the government, I said this in my WhatsApp audio, the government should be able to uh, buy junk cars. If they create a factory or an institution where they can buy junk cars for a few dollars or a few dollars, so for a little bit of change, where the owner of the vehicle can get rid of that vehicle and not park it right in front of the road on the street. Because parking an old vehicle on the street also, you're blocking the street, So that way they don't park them in there. They get them off of there. The government takes them and have a recycling center where they take all of those vehicles and recycle them into something that will be useful for our country. Even
Yeah,
if they need to, they can even export them. They
yeah.
can
Because
build
they don't
something out
have
of
these
them.
people don't have factories that could do those kind of things. I mean,
They need to come up with something because it's all metal. So we have welders in the Gambia. We can create a factory in the Gambia where they take all these metals from all of these vehicles and put them into use. For example, one example I gave is, and when they take these old roads, old vehicles off there, they need to put more public buses so people still have transportation and not relying on those old taxis. I've seen some buses. I've seen some buses, but not enough. So they need to invest into getting more buses to transport people. So when you take those vehicles, old cars, and junk them and take those metal out of there, recycle them. Now, what can happen with that is a lot of things that can happen. One, like I once proposed, for all the skills that need to be learned in the Army, if people get out of high school, go to the Army and get technical trainings there, one of those could be welding. They could be using those junk vehicles in their welding department, make chairs and desks for students in schools. They can use them for making bus stops, where the bus stops is. They can make a nice shade in there for people with benches for people to sit on, especially in the rainy season. That will become very handy. So nobody will be standing in the rain and trying to use umbrellas.
Do they actually have bus stops, in the
I
Gambia?
didn't even see them because the place is so densely populated and congested, you can't even tell where there is a bus stop.
There's no identifiable bus stops.
Yeah, exactly. You can't identify. Well, for you and I who are not living there, we're not going to be able to know unless we ask. But maybe people that are there that frequently use the bus wouldn't know where the bus stop is. But it'll be nice to build a structure there. Very simple, not expensive at all.
Yeah, I don't think even do they have garages? I mean, they might, but it's even right now. I've seen people just standing on the road. I mean, bring every car passing for transportation. Now, one thing I observe is that we send there too many cars, but how come still people are having problems in transportation? I have seen some people who came to visit me, and they say, "Mamoto Sudo, we couldn't get a car, we couldn't get a vehicle to bring us." Why, if there are many cars in the Gambia, why is it that people are still having trouble?
Yeah, the many cars, part of the many cars belong to individuals that are private vehicles. So there's not enough public transportation. There are more people than there's more demand for public transportation than the vehicles available for it. The buses are running, very few buses, but then the taxis are the problem. You don't see taxis and these big vans doing, they are out there, they're not just enough. There's not enough to
So imagine if we have enough of that, then the traffic will be super.
Well, if we have enough of that, that enough will come along with the widening of the roads. If you widen the roads, part of the problem, like we talked about, if they go alongside from the airport or from Brikama and you come all the way, anybody that built a shop on the side of the road, Well, that side of the road that you built your shop is supposed to be a part of that road. So they need to condemn them. Area council need to build more markets in the city, different areas. Take care of use the open lands and build markets for people in those areas. Make them story buildings, but we don't have a whole lot of land space. So go up 2, 3, 4 different layers if possible. Allow all of those people to take their goods over there and sell it. That way, everyone knows if you need something, there's not going to be anybody selling anything on the side of the road anymore. They need to stop that. Get people.
So you're talking about widening the road and then eliminating
eliminating the shops that are on the road,
and then shopkeepers who already have established property.
Yep.
I mean, shops there.
Yep. Give them a shop in the market. Yeah, let them go sell their goods in the market. That will force everyone to go to the market and stay away from the road. The roads will be clear. The roads, we see, part of the problem also is there are so many problems, so many components to all of this congestion. Part of that problem is there are shops and garages and all kinds of things, tire places, all kinds of things along the side of the road that could have all been taken out and widening the roads. When they take them out and put them in the city, then you're not going to have that many people along the side of the road. Roads will be free. They can build 3 lanes going and 3 lanes coming, and nothing along the side of the road. So people are not going to be shopping there, because some of the people that are out on the side of the road are also shopping. They are shopping in those shops. If you take those shops away and put them in the market, well, they will all go to the market at that point.
Yeah, but the market is not even enough space. I think our biggest problem right now is even the place is congested. I mean, the combo area.
Yeah, it is.
Too many people for small place to be occupied. I think, one thing is we need to focus on how to diversify the population, because we have a bigger land in the interior that we could utilize to have people move around there, but there is no incentive. I mean, the only reason why people are coming, and I've been in the provinces, when I went there, how free and how comfortable it is over there. But the only reason is they have this mentality that we can get jobs at the combos, we can get a better life at the combos, but that's not necessarily the case nowadays. If you build a good house in the inlands, in the up countries, and you have your farm, you have your agriculture, you can have a better life there. So I think the government's concentration on resources reallocation to these areas is very important. If you started to build schools over there, you started to build facility centers, you started to build economic, like where people can benefit themselves by walking. Now nowadays transportation is easier. You go to you cross the Barra ferry, you are in Badibu. No time. People can even walk around those areas. You don't have to stay and live in combos, because right now what you're telling me is that once they started to widen those streets and then people taking, going to the market is already congested. I've been into the market, it's dirty and congested. That is especially the Serekunda market. I barely couldn't even walk through it.
I went around it too, and it was really bad. I didn't get out of the car. I just drove by and came by in the area, and I went to one shop and bought something for my house. And traffic is really terrible there. It's very congested.
I nearly got into a fight.
Oh no!
Yeah. I mean, the guy was like hitting myself and my sister, on the leg with a push. And
really?
Yeah. I told him, I've been watching you. You're going back and forth. You do this again, you gotta get smart. And he started to say, who the hell are you? Blah blah blah. And the people say, please don't get into the fight.
That's great.
That's to tell you how congested the Serekunda market is.
It is. If they build the market going up, we don't have the space. We don't have the land space in Serekunda anymore. So the only space we have is up to the sky, and that's a lot of space there. From ground, the sky will be.
You have to also consider, the stairs, and also like certain things like this woman selling this Mafajarul and other things, I mean,
Yeah,
if you want to take that on top of it,
yeah. Even in the United States of America, when you go to grocery stores, there are sections and departments for everything. There is a meat section, there is grocery section, there is HBA, health and beauty section. There is also a produce section. So there is fish section, just like that. That's how it's going to be. They're going to make different layers. And based on what individuals are selling, you put them in those areas. All the produce will be on one layer. All the meat and fish will be on one layer. All the grocery stuff will be on one layer. If they go that route, I think they can accommodate it.
But this is not like one person owned these things. This is like individuals sitting with their area. So you would need more space.
No. When you build a big market, let's say I'll give an example. You build a big market that's let's say 10,000 square foot. All right. And 10,000 square foot, there's a lot of shops that can be built on that. A lot of space, a lot of counters that you can have on that. So, and think about for each layer, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, you go up and leave the room open for future buildings to continue to build like that. If they do that, because like I said, the market is so narrow, same thing with Banjul, Macau, everywhere you go, the markets don't have the space for anything. The only space they have is to go up. So they need to start, area council need to start thinking about that, building up, because they don't have the land to go wide. So that's one thing. And I think if they do that, that will solve some of the problem. The other part that you talked about is, everything in the combos. Yes, everything is combo. Combo is densely populated. And I know in the budget that the government passes or sends to the National Assembly for approval, there is something called decentralization. Decentralization, in my mind, I am thinking decentralized combo. So I'm not sure what they use that budget for. There is funds and millions of dollars has been allocated for decentralization. That fund, in my mind, should be for decentralized combo and take things up. You go up in the country, in all the regions, create more jobs there by building hospitals and banks and everything that people go for in the combo, have it available there. When you do that, you create jobs for people there. And not only that, you build the infrastructure so that companies can go there so they don't all try to come to Humble. See, if companies can go to, let's say, Basse area or places between Bansang and Basse, for example, and they can have electricity and water supply. They can have internet there. And there is a population in there that they can serve. They will be able to open businesses there. But you can't try to decentralize when the infrastructure is not there. No hospitals, no water supply, no electricity supply, and no banks around, and you want people to go settle there. That's not going to happen. So the government need to use that decentralization fund and create something every year, do something in certain areas, try to encourage people to go there, take the lead and allow the companies and non-government agencies or other institutions and private investment companies to follow you out in the country. And if they do that, I think that will help, because building an overpass around Combo area is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, the coastal road, the road that they're building under the Apuro good is good, but once you come out from the airport, you take that road, and you get to the other end, it's going to be congested too. So
I agree with you.
It will alleviate the traffic from the Serakunda Banjul, back out Brikama Serakunda's road. Some of the traffic will go the other way, but then it'll be fast going from the airport going there. But once you get to that, what is it called, turntable or whatever that is, once you get to that area, then you're stuck again. You're stuck in the same traffic, because it's the same thing from Pipeline, and from Pipeline, Caraba Avenue, the road that you take to Senegambia. I mean, it's crowded now. In the old days, that was wide open to a point where you can have like 4, 5, up to 6 lanes going and 6 lanes coming.
I think, yeah.
Where's all the space?
I think, yeah, I think, Sam, I think what is more feasible so that we're not going to continuously have this issue, you know, in addition to what you've said, is to create, okay, interstate or intercity, intercity road, solid road, and don't create a road and then forget about it. You have to maintain it. Then the problem is you create a road and then next 3 years, 4 years, you start to have potholes and you forget about it. You have to have a budget to maintain it. You have to do road maintenance every, 2 or 3 years. So this is one issue that we fail in. That's why most of the roads being built, water comes and erode them and stuff like that, and then now they become like a potholes. They become like a sand roads. That is number one. Number two, once you build those solid roads, move the population. So find incentive to move, to diversify, and people start, relocating. The reason why everybody is in the combos because they believe that that's where the opportunities are. Otherwise, if the opportunities are in other places where they can make a good living, they will move there. And now that we have many vehicles, which is good, right? Let them have the vehicles be running around those areas by moving, diversifying resources to Bansang, Padibu area, Ikiang, other places. If we are all interconnected now, we have phones. Why can't we be interconnected in roadwise? Build extensive roads across all these places where people can connect quickly and create incentive schools, make universities over there. Why in Combos? Make important medical facilities there. People will go there. People will start building settlements around there. So that way we don't have one area concentration. Because of this one area concentration, we all buy a home there. And then we all have children there. And then people in the provinces said, okay, there's no incentive here. So let's go in and go there. And then trying to live there too, because we cannot go back and forth. And this is why there's so much in my immigration, my rural urban migration.
And that's why I said the government needs to use that decentralization fund.
Because if they, to tell you the truth, they cannot destroy people's compound and build many roads now, all over the place. They started doing that in some places. People started making noise. Because I personally would not like if they do it to me.
So here's what needs to happen.
And then also interstate, up and down.
The overpass.
We don't have that money.
Even if
we have that money, we're gonna have to borrow, or somebody we're gonna get tied us behind the back. So that wouldn't be the solution.
So temporarily,
diversify resources, having people to go and live somewhere else, building roads that goes there and maintaining them constantly, and creating another community somewhere where people will have reason to live there and travel over there.
So if you look at it, that's why I always say there's always a short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans. The long-term plans long-term is really to be able to have those beltways and overpass in Gambia, because in 10 to 15 years time, Gambia is going to be even worse if we don't do anything now. So that'll be long-term. But for now, I think it's not about compounds, just the major roads. From airport, take the airport road all the way to Bakau, for example. All the way to
expand those.
Those can be expanded by removing those businesses out of there, because they were not there before. And those are not compounds. Compounds were all far away from the road in the past. How did we allow all this business to come here? That's what should not have happened. They should allocate somewhere for them to build their businesses. and really, this is our country. We need to think about our country. We should not let people come and take our roads and cause us to get into this chaos where we don't have roads. And some of these businesses are not even owned by the Gambians. So we should not allow say things to happen. So if you think about that, and you think about Banjul Serekunda, you think about just the major roads that people.
But Banjul is, by the way, Banjul and Serekunda is not too bad.
It's not bad. That one is not bad.
That one is, you know, I haven't seen heavy traffic in that.
Yeah, that one is not bad.
Traffic is so, from Josuan area going towards, you know, like I mean
I'll just say from Brikama.
Yeah.
From Brikama coming into all the way to Pipeline Road, all the way to Fajara.
And
that road is important.
Yeah.
That road is very important because when people travel, this is where most people travel. That could be widened. They can widen that road by removing all those small shops off the road. They shouldn't be selling stuff on the road anyway. They should go to the market. Allocate a place for them in the market, build markets. Area council can build markets and go up and allocate a place for them. They can still have their shops there, but leave the roads so that we can build our roads and make the roads easy to travel and navigate on. Now, when they do that, the other part they need to do is the inner city roads, because the inner city roads are so bad. Everybody wants to get on the main roads, because when you go in inner city, I went inner city too. I mean, the roads are like this and that and that, and that. They are like this. They are just, I mean, you just go into a bump all day long.
Oh my goodness. Some places you like just go and you just see sand. I mean, like,
sand in there. So even the simplest thing they can do that will not cost them a lot of money is get these heavy duty tractors or graders and go and grade those roads, make them smooth. Just make them smooth, clear everything, all the ditches, all the bumps out of it. Even if you can't fix the roads now.
No, because do you know why you get those bumps? Also because of the rain.
It's the rain, yeah.
We don't have a good waterway. So, there's a lot of things connected.
Right.
If we have a good water drainage system,
drainage
those roads will not create
they will not
create some of those big, you know, ditches and stuff in the road.
Yeah, and I know drainage system is another big issue there. The Gambia has so many problems. So many problems. I know
we are lucky that we didn't go at the time of rainy
season. I know in the rainy season, because drainage system needs to be created under the roads. Before they build roads, you got to put all the pipes in to create that drainage. But anyway, I don't want to get into that now. But the simplest thing is, after the rainy season, get graders and go on every street, level it all off for people. So people can easily pass there. Taxi drivers can easily go through there and leave the main roads. So the main roads will not be congested because inner city roads are okay. You can travel on them perfectly.
Especially Serekunda.
Serekunda, yes. And there are certain areas that I'm also inclined about taking people's compounds and properties in the inner city. But anyone that's on the highways, the main roads, really, we need to clear those shops out of there and businesses. But inner city roads is the fault of the physical planning. They didn't plan correctly and didn't plan our roads. So what they
were not considering, they were just allocating lands, and they're not considering
the roads,
ways, they're not considering streets
and the future,
and then the roads.
So, but what they can do is, if they can grade all of those roads and make them black, so people can easily pass through them, they're also going to make some of them one-way streets because they're so narrow. Some roads are so narrow that it's hard for two cars to come by.
Do they have a one-way street in Gambia?
What's that?
Do they have a one-way street in the Gambia?
I don't know, but they need to do that.
All streets are two-way streets, no one-way.
Right. There are some roads that are so narrow that it's hard for two cars to pass through. So if they grade all of those and make signs and make one-way streets there, so if this is only to go through here, and then that one is to only come that way, that will also alleviate some of the traffic. There will not be any delays. That people can still move around easily, and they won't. Taxi drivers won't have
Sam, I know we don't want to spend too much time only on these roads, but there are other areas too.
Oh yeah,
but the Gambia, you know, is just sad. Another area is compound. I mean, naming and numbering.
They started that because they put a number on markup.
It's another area that I think we should look at.
Yep.
When people call me to come and visit me, I had to give phone to somebody who lives in the area.
Me too. Explain.
To explain. Vitala Janale, Yeji
You
yo
the
tabo
director. Yeah, I have to
Yeto
get
mo
that.
jama mo jala ibulbala.
Yeah,
Yektan mo kanala. You know how many times we went to see people? We were on the phone with taxi drivers,
yep,
and they were explaining.
same
It's
thing.
so sad. Why are we in in the dark ages?
Yeah. Well, I know that KMC has already started that because my property, my compound is encumbered. So I know that they've done that in my area. So they've already started that part. It's a long process, and KMC, I think Bensouda and his team are doing a great job.
Oh yeah.
Uh, they are trying their best, even
No,
though
I can
yeah,
I can acknowledge that because when
yeah,
Benzida came here,
they face some challenges, but they're doing a lot of improvement in there. So that is happening. It will be a long way to get to everyone, but they are already doing that. And all streets need to be named so people can see,
I mean,
get
let
all
me
the
tell you
streets.
something. I know this is it might be a KMC project,
Yeah,
but government works with city
yeah,
officials, right?
yeah, yeah. Local
Government
government.
should
Yeah.
show their weight,
Yep.
not only leaving things to the city. Okay,
Right.
this is an urgency. We need roads, we need street naming, we need numbering, so people don't waste time
Yep.
finding places.
Yep.
It's. I know Bensuda is trying, but this
Yeah.
is should be speed up. It is a process that needed to be speed up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Another thing is I don't know if you notice it also.
Okay.
The dust.
Oh yeah. Well, for the dust, yeah, you're right. I have to wear a mask. When I'm out. I'm out and about. I wear a mask when I'm not in the car. There was one point I think I was on that coastal road where that big construction is a lot of dust there. I was in the car, I still wore a mask. Then I look in the car, say, you know what? I know a lot of Gambians don't know this, but there's a button in your car when you have your air conditioner on. There's one button that you can push that only circulates the air in the car, not anything from outside. So I pushed that one. I knew that because I know a lot about vehicles. A lot of people don't know that. So I pushed that one to only circulate the air in the car and not bring any outside air inside the car. So prior to doing that, when I realized dust was coming, I first pulled my mask out of my pocket and put that on while in the car. And I said, wait a minute. So I look in the car to make sure I have that there. And yep, I pushed that button and that was perfectly fine for me. So I started feeling much better. But at the end of the day, the dust is the dust.
Where are the dust coming from? Do you have an idea?
Well, is all the movements around, like cars moving, people moving. I mean, you see people walking, everybody's dusty, like your shoes, your hands, and everything get dusted. The dust is from all the construction. The dust is from all the dirt that's on the road because the roads are not clean. Okay. But part of the problem is also, I think that's where this dust is coming from. There is also another way dust comes in. And that also, once talked about this also, is when we kill all the trees around, trees are supposed to catch, tree branches and leaves are supposed to catch all the dust and have the dust settle on them rather than get to the people and their houses.
I figured that out. If a place is plainly open,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
really
it's mainly
attracts.
open and we kill all the trees. And Gambians, they cut down all the trees without realizing trees are very important for us. They cut down all the trees and so we're getting a lot of dust. There's nothing blocking the dust from going. So that's
And also I think Hamilton, has also
yeah,
the
yeah.
sub-Saharan movement of
Yep, yep. You see, if we had plenty of trees surrounding all of Combo and surrounding every village and town in the Gambia, plenty of trees, then we won't even worry about Hamilton. We won't be worried about the dust because the dust, most of the dust will settle on the tree leaves. It won't get to people. But fortunately, we kill all the trees. No, that's what we did. Yeah, kill the trees.
So now we probably in this program will not be able to talk about other political aspect of it. We're just talking about environment and things that perhaps
sure.
So let's look at the good thing about Gambia that we experience.
Yep. The good thing for me in my experience when I was there is be able to see all the people and be able to see the people I've not seen in a very long time.
Yeah, that's important.
People that I've spoken to but I've never seen in person. and be able
How
to.
did that feel when you saw them?
It was great, and people was like, wow, this is that they were. I was very excited, but I think they were more excited than I was. People were very excited to see me in person after talking to me or hearing my voice and all of that stuff. So that was a great thing. And of course, seeing my family is the most important thing. Seeing my family and extended family.
After how many years?
It's been a while. I can't even remember how many years now. It's been a while. I've not seen. I've not seen
Were
some
you
people.
lost? Were you lost?
I was lost. I was lost because I went with my brother while I was there, so he was
Hey,
helping.
could you remember other areas?
Yeah, I remember. I remember a lot of areas, not everywhere, but I don't remember how to get to my own house. So that was what.
Then you probably, definitely, you are definitely lost.
Well,
That was the case.
the thing is though, when I bought my house, I bought that. Well, when I bought that property, I bought it and fenced it and left it alone. Now that I built something, and before building, people built around me, so I built my house the way I like it, and so getting in the past, I knew how to get there. Now, because of all the new constructions, I got lost. I didn't know how to get there. And even after I've been there already, when I go out and coming back, I actually got lost one time again. And I had to call my brother that was in the house to tell me how to get there. So yeah, those are things. But like I said, the greatest thing is getting to see people that I've not seen in a long time. I was able to go in the country to go see my auntie, my stepmother actually, who is about 100 years old now, and I went to see her, and
Congratulations to her.
yeah, that was amazing. She was so happy that
Did she remember you? Did she recall
yeah,
you? And see the
yeah. Her brain is functioning perfectly fine.
Oh,
She even sang a song for me.
did you
A
dance?
song,
Did you dance
yeah,
to the
she sang a song. She said, "When I was a baby, when I was little,
You love that song.
that was a song that she used to sing for me, and it was a song that I liked." So she remembers that at 100 years old. She remembers that and sang it that day.
Oh my goodness.
That was awesome.
Nice.
That was phenomenal. So that was a great. The other part is, some of the things that I missed that I got to see. One day I was at home in my house, and lunch was ready. My brother's
Yeah, I
son
was gonna
came
tell
back.
you about the food. How was the food?
Yeah, the food is great. They have great food there. I
They're
tell you,
better than us, right? They're better than the West, right?
Gambians are eating better food than we are here. We have
Yeah,
a lot of
you
junk
cook,
food here. They're
you
eating
bring the warm food, you cook, you
Yeah,
bring the
yeah,
warm
they
food,
cook it fresh and
the
bring it.
jatos, the
Yeah.
canjos,
Oh man, I love
the,
those. I've not had that for a
the
while.
eggplants,
So, and one thing I realized that was amazing also is
because they are
that
all organic.
reminded me of the past is when lunch was ready one day, my brother's son was there. He was playing with other kids in the neighborhood. So when lunch was ready, they brought lunch, and my brother and his son came. The son came with his friends that were playing outside. So like three little boys, they all came, and we all put our hands. Even though I ate with a spoon, we all ate from the same bowl. That was something that I've not had for a very long time, years.
How does that feel? It feels like
It felt like wow,
good, united and everything.
I was very impressed. It felt like wow, I'm really back home now, really back home because
man, you gotta do this more often, Sam.
even here, I have kids here. My kids, we don't eat in the same bowl. When the food is ready and we say food is ready, well, one may say, "Well, I'm not hungry now. I'm not gonna eat now."
Yeah, everybody has that time
so
table.
everybody to take their time and get their plate and go eat on their own. So sitting down with a group of people sitting together, that was phenomenal. Another thing is my friends. I have a friend from UK that came from UK also in the Gambia. So he also came with other friends, our friends, to my house, and we all had lunch together. That was also great. That was, it was just amazing seeing the people and the food. That was the beauty of it. So
and
that
recalling back, recalling your
it brought back the memories of
that was good. Yeah. What else? What else is good? What else is good about Gambia? That is positive.
I don't know. I know that.
How about the weather?
The weather, I mean, the time that I was there, it was not hot for me. It was not too hot. So
Yeah,
this
the
is the right time.
sun, the weather, the sun, the
The
atmosphere,
sun that was coming
the
out,
pollution,
was
less polluted
great.
every environment.
Yep,
You
yep,
can
yep,
breathe a very nice,
yep,
natural
yep. Absolutely,
compared to the West.
absolutely. That was one thing I like. I just felt sad that, I thought Gambia is still way behind time, and Gambian people are really suffering from what I've seen. People trying to make ends meet, and people try to move from
Of
one
course,
point A to point B, transportation difficulties, and all of those made me very sad after seeing how they struggle.
struggle.
That was the saddest part for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the side, that's the thing. And then also the positive ones also.
Mhm. Looks like you're frozen. Are you there? Looks like you're frozen. We may,
What do you feel about that? The like in terms of like your feeling of happy.
you're freezing, so and I can't hear you. You're still frozen. I don't know if you can hear me, but you're frozen. Yeah, my internet is perfectly fine. It's just yours. Still frozen.
Are you there?
Yep, I
Yeah,
am.
I was lost in a minute. No,
Yeah.
are you hear my question, right?
No, I did not. I was saying
Okay.
you're
So
frozen.
I'm saying, how do you feel about going fulfill, happy, that human, aspect of it, instead of like compared to the West, you'll be running around for ends made, you don't have time for anything. There is no, you don't feel the happiness of being, fulfilled, relaxed, and taking things easy, enjoying life. How do you feel about that in the Gambia?
Yeah, I think I was perfectly fine in the sense that I was able to be myself and do what I wanted to do while in the Gambia. Uh, be able to mingle with people, communicate, go visit people, and people came to visit me. That part was perfectly fine. Like I said, the saddest part was seeing how people struggle to make ends meet, but also struggle to get from point A to B. I think that was the part there. But overall, I didn't look at myself. For me, I can handle the situation the way I went in, but I felt sorry for people that one don't have the money to be able to afford a good cost of living, and two, transportation being very difficult. Late evenings, you see people still standing on the side of the road trying to get home. You're trying to get home. There's no transportation. You see a lot of people on the road looking for rides to go. So that
Do,
was the
do,
part.
do you think you'll be able to live in the Gambia, you know, finally, if you consider going back?
Why not? Why not? I should be able to live there. I built a house that is just like an American style home. So it will be the same thing for me. Everything I can get here, I can get there as well. So thank God I have that. But when it
And
comes
do
to
you see yourself living in the Gambia?
do I see myself living again? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. When the time comes, there's gonna be a time when like we always say, there's no place like home. There's definitely no place like home. It's actually to
Hopefully,
me,
hopefully by the time we fix our economic, political, and
yeah,
social
yeah, yeah.
issues.
I actually see Gambia as a better place to live if conditions are favorable. It's a better place to live if you really create the conditions yourself for yourself,
Right.
favorable, but also favorable conditions in general terms for everyone. Good roads, good hospitals, medical, supplies and everything that you're going to need there. But until then, it's going to be difficult to really.
Yeah, medical. I would not. I would say that was a poor experience too. I went trying to buy cough cough medicine and medicine and stuff. The kind of medicine that was presented to me from the pharmacy,
Yeah.
I declined to buy them. And what I did was, I used my medicine that I took with me. I gave that out to the person who was, some of those for the person who was asking. So I would advise anyone, Gambia pharmacy, what they sell is quite out of line. I saw myself, the kind of medicines these are, they don't even know what they use for. They kind of, you say you have a headache, they give you something just because they give you something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then you don't even know what is the standard of that what that medicine do. And they
Yeah.
are so generic, so
Yep.
generic. It's not even,
Yeah.
something that is, recommended by
Yeah.
physicians. So I would advise anyone, if you can get your medication from abroad, it's better than those pharmacies what they sell, because I found this Indian person there, and then he was telling me, I make myself look like, I live there. So I asked him, I have a headache, I have a distance, and he started bringing me all kind of medicines that are absolutely generic. I don't even think they have been even investigated. No wonder why people who are getting sick are getting sicker, or probably losing their life, because the medicines are not fit for consumption. And if this is the same way they operate in the clinics and hospitals, my friend, we need to revisit that. The government need to do something about medicals. Otherwise, we're killing ourselves more than, we naturally, more than the natural cause, really.
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a whole area we need to talk about another time. But
yeah, definitely separate time. Yeah.
very, very,
For the
very
benefit of
important.
time, I think we can start to
No,
end.
I'll just add something to it. I did exactly the same thing. I took medicine with me. I took cold medicine. I usually don't get sick. If I get sick, it's just a fresh common cold. So I took cold medicine with me, and I took other medicine with me too. And just in case if I need it, so that I won't be buying anything from there, because I don't trust any of those medicines that they sell there. I don't trust them, and I won't be using them. So that'll be one thing. That's why I said, if conditions are favorable, I won't mind living there. But I know that I'll be really protecting myself by taking anything that I may need from the U.S. To Gambia, and I did that. I took them, and I still left them at home. I also took a part of. I bought like 2 batches. I left one in my house, and I took one to my hometown, and I gave it to my brother and the family there. So just in case somebody got or I leave or cocaine killers and things like that, I give them all that, so that they won't be buying anything from these local pharmacies, because they are not safe.
I think everybody should look into that. If you have family there or whatever, send them, medicine that probably would can last for a year. And then they can take care of that instead of buying this hospital. I mean, this clinic. Pharmacies, they are not. They will make you sicker. Yeah. Yeah. So for the benefit of the time, I think we are an hour.
Wrap it up.
We can wrap it up. You have your one person here, Sam, who say Maricham Mane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, welcome back, teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was listening.
He was my student. He was a wonderful student of mine, and
he commented on the chat. Yeah.
She is.
So we thank our viewers definitely for watching, and for your final thoughts.
Yeah, and definitely, we definitely have to tell our viewers that you and I, this show has been off for a while because we all went to Gambia. You went to Gambia, I went to Gambia, and Famara went to Gambia. Alice is too busy, so we really didn't have time for this show. And thank God, Liz, you and I are back, and we're back in the U.S. and be able to sit here and talk. So thanks to our viewers. At the same time, we apologize that we were paused for a little bit, but we'll be back on this as well. So overall, great time. I had great time, great opportunity to be able to see people in Gambia, my family and friends, and see Gambia for myself. Seeing is believing, and everything that I was talking about, and I talk on WhatsApp audios and things like that. It's best to go see it yourself have the experience and be able to say.
Would your talking now change a little bit because since that you have you've been on the ground, or would it still?
You know, yes, I know the commonalities, you know, common things that are in the Gambia. I already know them, but going there and seeing things, now I'll be speaking from my own personal experience. Just saw recently, very recent, as just last week. You know,
maybe you can actually defend
oh, yeah,
your statements better now because you have
because I've seen it.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
seen it. You
yeah,
you have
yeah. I can correlate to those things that I've seen live into my and I've done that with the last audios I released a couple of days ago.
and reference,
Hopefully this evening I'll be adding more to my travel experience in Gambia. I'll be releasing some WhatsApp audios and say more as well. So yeah,
thank you. All right, thank you for your time, everyone, and then we catch up next week the same time.
Yeah, inshallah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
All right, thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye.